That's the difference between people. Another effect of fear on our lives is that it causes us to feel vulnerable and to mistrust the world around us. When someone fears, he sees every person and every event through that belief system, which means that he does not trust people or does not trust situations. And when this happens, he begins to close off into himself and begins to experience loneliness because he has no intimate or direct contact with persons around him. He's not able to supply himself or receive the emotional energy and contact which he needs from other persons through this more open and direct contact with persons. So another effect is that through the sense of vulnerability, we close off into ourselves. Another effect is that it causes us to misinterpret reality. That is, we see danger there where there is not. The classic example is that we see a rope on the road and we think it's a snake. How many times have we misinterpreted? Let me ask the question in another way, in the opposite way. How many times have other people misinterpreted your intentions? How many times have you approached someone with intention just to help him, but he misunderstood and feared and thought that you had intention to harm him? The same thing we do ourselves. We and others misinterpret the actions and the motives of other persons because of our basic distrust, because of our feeling of danger. And so it causes us to distort reality. Fear, which is based on two basic beliefs: that there is danger, and secondly, that I am incapable of handling that danger. If I lived in a world where there was no danger, even if I was very weak, there would be no problem. And if I lived in a world where there was danger, but I felt very strong and able to face any danger, still I would have no problem. So in order to fear, I have to have two basic beliefs: that there is danger in the world, from persons, from microbes, from animals, from events, whatever it may be, from earthquakes, whatever it may be, and that I do not have the power, the ability to protect myself from those dangers. Or thirdly, there is no divine power which will protect me from those dangers. So there are three basic beliefs. There is danger. I am not capable of protecting myself from that danger which exists. And thirdly, there is no other power which is protecting me from those dangers. If I can remove those three beliefs, that there is danger, that I am not capable, or that there is a divine power, then I will feel no fear. The fear is the result of those three basic beliefs. Another result is that when someone is in that state of consciousness, he needs to take, and it's difficult for him to give. It is, he is a person who is very naturally ego-centered, which means he is centered upon his own ego and his own needs, and there is little remaining energy left for him to think about others or the needs of other persons. That means that cooperation is difficult, and it means that in any kind of relationship which would flourish if there were cooperation, the natural functioning of each person is an antagonistic relationship or a competitive relationship. And we see that especially so in relationships between spouses and marital relationships, between parent and child. There's often a conflict of power. Who's going to win? Whose will is going to be the victor here? But especially in the work situations in which people are fighting to get the higher positions, because everyone has a fear of survival, physical, monetary survival, but also emotional survival through affirmation by being better than other persons. And so rather than cooperate, people compete. And this creates a situation in which lack of cooperation creates a destruction of the whole process. Another result of fear, very powerful result of fear, is hate or aggression. Animals will attack for one of two reasons, either for hunger or out of fear, when they feel that there is danger. That is, and it's the same with the human being. That is, he attacks either when he needs something very much, whatever that he may need, or when he is in a state of fear. Another result is poor health. Fear has a way of weakening the immune system, because the immune system does not distinguish between real or physical enemies and imagined enemies. So if our immune system is functioning continuously in order to fight an imagined enemy, it becomes exhausted and overworked, as in the case of allergies, of asthma, and situations in which the body imagines there's an enemy which is not an enemy. And it's usually a state of fear which causes that. So it causes a suppression of the adrenals, a weakening of the adrenals, and therefore less energy to protect us from actual illness. Now, is there useful fear? I would say that there is useful discrimination and logic, that it's not wise to step off a 7-story building into the air. I wouldn't call that fear. I would call that wisdom or logic. I think that there are seldom situations in which there may be useful fear. For example, if at this moment a hungry tiger walked into the room, he would be most likely to eat the person who made the most movements, less likely to eat the person who sat calmly sending out vibrations of love and peace to the tiger. As we know, dogs tend to chase after people who fear them and leave people who don't fear them alone. And so there is a natural, and if there were an earthquake at this moment, I think the person who thought most calmly, well, where is the safest place to put my body, would protect himself much more effectively than the person who panicked and just jump out of the window, or just ran screaming, trying to find what he was going to do, see what he was going to do. So I believe that even in situations where there is danger, actual danger, a peaceful state of mind and a lack of fear is a better way of handling.